So let me see this. Is this the live one? Yeah. Yeah, I think that, yep, this is the one. Okay. So I got some chats to read from the other page that I had scheduled when I was going to originally stream from the PC. Sarago Gautier is talking about how he's Australian. Professor Ellis talking about the mobile game. Well, 7 p.m. and I'm eating pancakes. Professor LS asked, how would you feel if Ruby got a Battle Royale based game? Is it like all the other Battle Royale games? Because if so, I'd be pretty not okay with it. But if it's Battle Royale in the sense where, like, it's a multiplayer, like, MASH, that's... I don't get the appeal of the Battle Royale games, because from a gameplay standpoint, they're no different from the like, Quake style multiplayer games where it's just everyone for themselves and guns and pickups and health packs and stuff, and it's just every single one is so laggy, every single one is so buggy, every single one just takes so long to get started, only for you to be sniped by someone who's using a lag switch or has their settings turned down so that Professor CB Forever 85 said, hope you all boys voted. Yes, but I didn't vote on everything. I don't tend to vote when I don't know the issue. There was a lot of, like, minor stuff. Let me try that. Let me try the link again. Because CB Forever said, it's not working. Okay, maybe that helps. I mean, if you guys are here, it's not going to help any, but it's just called Mediasreams Red Dead Redemption 2. That's just the default I have right now. I'll change the title of it. Actually, I'm going to try changing the title of it now. I wonder if I can. I don't know if I can. Can I? Midterm election and Red Dead Redemption 2. So let's get monetization on. Save. Is it gonna let me save even though I'm streaming? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, so originally this was going to just be one of those, only redirects with HTTP. Yeah, I'm gonna offer him advice to just go on the main page. So then, we're going to play some Red Dead Redemption 2 here in a minute, but I want to make sure that, like, everything is ready. Just a quick update with the election. I'm going to be checking back on the election periodically. Polls have ended on most of the Eastern Standard Time stuff, or not. I don't actually. I think they've only ended in Indiana. Oh, they also ended in Vermont. New York Times is already declaring Bernie Sanders the winner. That's not a surprise. He's a shoo, and he'll probably win by a very large margin. They love him up there. But a lot of people were projecting Mike Braun, an Indiana Republican candidate, was going to win. I thought they were maybe underestimating Joe Donnelly, but right now, Mike Braun is ahead by 60%, or not by 60%, but at 60%, 60 to 35, with the Libertarian candidate not even pulling 5%. So that one, it looks like that's a gain for the Republicans because Donnelly's the incumbent. So that's going to make the Democrats' job a lot harder. Alright, so I have several things set up here. Okay, I'm going to shut down the first stream I think that's all there is to that. Back to Event Manager. Control room. It says that there's... Oh. Yeah. Huh. 13 people watching. That's not what I wanted. Or whatever. I don't think... yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I need to prioritize what's going to be on here. So I have on Microsoft Paint, I have my Senate map to help me keep track of who's got what. I also have the stream. And I just got an email. Actually, I'm going to pull up the stream on my phone like I usually do. And I'm going to share it to Discord and Twitter as well. It might have already gone on Twitter. I know it already went on Facebook because I checked that option. But let's see. Copy link. Then I'm going to add everybody. Oh, Twitter as well. Yeah, it's taking forever because, again, I'm going to be going back and forth between my computer and the PlayStation 4. It's on the same TV, so it's just on different channels. So... Forgot to pull up the stream on my phone again. Okay. Pull up the chat. Okay, now to catch up with the stream. Hello, hello. Well, boys, I voted... Shadow Falcon said, well, boys, I voted Ozpin as mayor of New York City. I may have made a grave mistake. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that's actually probably worse than what you got right now. Just saying. Sarago Gautier, you absolute madman. This is a completely different kind of channel. This is a completely different type of conversation than I'm usually doing on my channel. The way I rationed it is that after my White Fang video, anything goes. I cross some lines there. Professor Ellis said I voted for Salem. Oof. Sargo Gautier. I gave my vote to a third party. Raven. See, you guys are voting for Ruby characters. Why don't you vote for someone competent like... Huh. I rest my case. Shadow Falcon said, I lost a bet, so I had to. The survivor vote, no one. Be bandits. Phoenix. Shadow Falcon Phoenix Wright as state attorney. Yes. Light Yakami as sheriff. Red Dead Redemption 2 and the election is pretty similar. Yeah, that's actually why I picked it. I was originally, when I decided I was going to have to do on PS4, I was thinking about doing Jurassic World Evolution. Because I really dig that game. I think it gets a lot of flack that it doesn't really deserve. Okay, Shadow Falcon says, isn't it gonna go to Red Wall House or Blue Wave? I think it's going to be a Red Wall. It's just statistically too difficult for the Democrats to flip the Senate. They'd have to keep every single seat that they have, and also flip a couple. And right now, it is looking like the Republicans are the ones doing the flipping. Less than 1% is in on Florida. Rick Scott is ahead by a significant margin. And Mike Braun is beating Joe Donnelly in Indiana. Those are two states where the Democrat candidate was the incumbent and the Republicans are winning. They can't afford to lose seats, and they're losing seats. This reverse, what is Red Wave and Blue Wave? It's actually Red Wall. So a lot of times, I guess I should explain this, especially for those who aren't like politically savvy, and especially not like American politically savvy. Anytime that one of the major political powers tends to happen after the first 2 years of a new president. So, for instance, in 2008, Barack Obama won the presidency. In 2010, there was a red wave. The Republicans flipped the House, and have maintained control of the House ever since. So, with this election, everyone was predicting a blue wave, and they should, because it makes sense with the way things go with these sorts of elections. But the Democrats have made a lot of really, really big mistakes the last 6 or so months, and it's not looking like they're going to have the way that they desperately need to do what they want to resist. All these Democrats are running on one platform point, and that is #resistance, and it's failing them. And it actually pays me to say, because I don't hate the Democrats. It's just, I hate what they've become. I predict, I'm from Missouri. It's neck and neck in Missouri. Every single poll says 50-50 split. It's going to come down to the wire between incumbent Democrat Claire McCaskill and upcoming Republican Josh Hawley. I predict Hawley will pull out a victory, which sucks, especially for the Democrats, because Claire McCaskill is not one of the crazy ones, but she's getting a lot of egg on her face from her support of Clinton and her support of Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth 1024th% Native American Elizabeth Warren. Professor Ella said, agree or disagree, Fortnite is the end of humanity. Disagree, it's just a fad, it will go away. Shadow Falcon, disagree, Elon Musk is gonna buy Fortnite, then delete it? Sure. Nutjobification donated $10, thank you, man. For everyone on different ends of the political spectrum, may the odds ever be in favor. I voted a lot of libertarian candidates. I don't have a chance. that I could not in good conscience vote for Claire McCaskill because I disagree with her too much. She doesn't have my interests in mind. And Josh Hawley is a hack and a fraud, and I hate him, and I voted the Libertarian candidate for Senate. I couldn't. Compared to Dragon, if we're voting for fictional characters, mine's for Stephen Armstrong. Huh. Or Funny Valentine. The Jacob V11 asked, did you vote for your favorite president, Andrew Jackson? No, I did not. We're gonna get it. I kind of want to get into the history thing, but since we're going to be playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't think I'm going to be able to get into as much of the history stuff as I want to. Sorogo Gautier said I voted William T. Anderson, best U.S. president in history. Okay, I guess that's a fictional one. Shadowfucking my girlfriend voted Adam. Okay, Professor Ellis asked, have you heard of Call of Juarez? It's a great game. Probably, like, was my third, now it's my fourth favorite Western game, behind Gun and both Red Deads. Who do you think the... CB Forever asks, who do you think the Dems will have run as their 2020 presidential candidate? It all depends on how tonight shapes out. Because if they're... The tactics that they used throughout this year with like the Kavanaugh accusations and hashtag resist and my Russia and all of that stuff worked, then they'll throw in Bernie Sanders again, they'll probably throw in Elizabeth Warren, maybe Joe Biden, Joe Kennedy, Michael Avenatti. Those are some names. Kamala Harris is one I've been hearing a lot. Sargo Gautier. Oh. Chewy Gamer said, what about Calvin Coolidge? Coolidge is alright. Another update. I'm just looking at it. Ooh. Less than 1% reporting. So this is probably going to change a lot. Because the districts that they're counting up are probably the very conservative ones. But right now, Corey Stewart of Virginia is beating out Hillary Clinton's former running mate, Tim Kaine, the incumbent. I expect that will change. I expect Tim Kaine will end up winning. It's, oh wow, it is really I just zoomed in to see, like, the more in-depth stuff. Only, like, 200 votes have been counted so far. Corey Stewart has 151, and Tim Kaine has 62. Yeah, that's going to change. Virginia's a big state. Here said Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, anyone? Yeah, no. 32 days into office. The Survivor said, controversial history talk is usually about the Civil War. I don't think there was really anything controversial about the Civil War. I think it was pretty cut and dry, states' rights versus kind of the more authoritarian North. And Lincoln exercising his powers in order to reunify stuff. Yeah, Sergo Gautier, you're thinking of William Henry Harrison, who, funny story, the reason why he died in office after 30 days is because, when he was running, everyone was worried that he was too old and was gonna get sick and die. So to prove them all wrong, he gave a really long-winded, like, 3-hour inauguration address. And didn't wear his coat, ended up catching a cold and dying a month later. Shadow Fox said, Roger Scott confirmed in Kentucky, I think. I guess that's the governor. There's no Senate election in Kentucky, so I'm not looking at that right now. I'll check on that later in the night. The Survivor said, no, I mean how people talk about it now with the Civil War. Maybe. I think a lot of things just get misconstrued and misrepresented. Anyway. Yeah, Rick Scott. Bill Nelson closed the gap against Rick Scott. It's pretty close in Florida. Mike Braun is laying on a beating in Indiana. And it's already starting to close in Virginia. So let's actually start playing the game. That alien said Red Wave. Actually, they call it Red Wall. They're calling it a Red Wall this year because it's basically blocking the Democrat advance. And I think that's kind of nifty because Trump's whole thing is like, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. Chowie Gamer said, does anyone know where to chart watch for the elections? I'm watching it on New York Times, which is what I used in the 2016 election as well. They're pretty up to date. New York Times as a journalistic institute might be shady and stuff, but it's very much accurate as far as like elections go. Especially if you don't listen to their commentary, they'll try to spin a lot of stuff. Secures media just went full war of northern aggression. Well, no, that's what the South feared. It wasn't northern aggression. It was that the South feared northern aggression. That's why they seceded to begin with, not succeeded. They failed. And God, I'm gonna have to talk about the history of slavery, aren't I? Dad Alien said, if Republicans keep up this momentum, they can hold off the Democrats. California lets illegals vote. Yes. Okay, so this is post game. I'm gonna probably do like side missions and junk and bounty hunting and nothing story related because I've already beaten all the story stuff. But yeah, I'm playing as John Marston now, and I am styling. I don't remember why I decided to wear this get up. I was just like, I was doing the like shopping montage, and I like looking fashionable when I'm killing people. I love how this game allows you to do that. So I think this is a bounty poster here. If not, yeah, it is because this is the jail. All right, let's get a bounty.
Enough, feller. If I could interest you in bounty work, the poster's on the wall. It's a
Yes.
situation with them mongrel dogs, the Skinner brothers. Just when you thought this country had...
Okay, so history of slavery in the Western Hemisphere. Just to get some things out of the way. Most of the slaves that were carried over from Africa did not actually come to the mainland. Most of them were in the Caribbean, the islands. So throw anyone who says otherwise under the bus. They were primarily in the South, though there were northern slaves for a while. The thing is, for thousands and thousands of years, slavery was an agrarian thing. It was just like one group of people would roll into another land and conquer their people and then enslave their men. It's just how war worked. It was just the spoils of warfare, the punishment for losing. Later on with like some eugenic stuff and Darwinism, or paleo-Darwinism, because all this would have been way before Darwin's time, started believing in like the superior race and stuff, and then they made it about race way later on. But anyway, slavery in America was actually much more benevolent during the 1780s than it was in the 1840s. And a lot of that was because America was a very, like, progressive nation for its time. Nowhere near as much as France. I think France was actually the first major power to make slaves illegal or a rarity. There's actually an anecdote with Thomas Jefferson and the slave he ended up having kids with, where she straight up threatened to leave him while they were living in France, and he begged her to stay with him, and she did. So, again, like, so sorry to dispel the propaganda that Thomas Jefferson was like a rapist or whatever that your college professors have been probably perpetuating. And why is there just a random light there? I don't see a torch or anything. Maybe something didn't spawn in right. So this is only the second bounty mission I've done. I love doing the bounty missions in the first Red Dead. It's just, there's so much other cool stuff to do in this game that I never really got around to doing a lot of bounty missions. And the other one I did, yeah, I'm not a fan of how canned this seems to be.
Jesus.
I mean, it's very cinematic, but
Hello? Not here.
goodness. Skinners. I remember there were some epilogue missions with these guys. They they kidnapped Uncle and tortured him. Spoiler alerts, by the way, because this is in the post game. There will be spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 2. So anyway, you had people like Alexander Hamilton and John Jay, who were very and even John Adams were very anti-slavery from the outset. And things didn't start really getting bad for slaves. Like we were well on our way to abolishing slavery by the 1820s, or by the 1810s, especially like under John Quincy Adams, who was very much opposed to slavery and whose entire worldview would later on get co-opted by Abraham Lincoln.
This one's still breathing.
Okay, let's get my twin Mausers out.
Oh, the better. Hold him.
I think I have to actually pick up the body. In Red Dead Redemption 1, it was, if you ended up killing them, you just had to, search their body, and then, you pick up, the evidence or whatever that it was really them. And I don't like my horse being this far away. Because any chance, any minute now, there might be another bounty hunter or his friends coming along. Alright. Take this body back to Blackwater.
One more time.
Okay, it's telling me to go this way. So then, what ended up happening, though, for one, Alexander Hamilton got shot, and died. He was one of the major voices against slavery, and, without his nature, it kind of slowed down things on that front. And the other thing was the formation of the Democrat Party, which was very much pro-slavery, and then they rose to power in the 1820s because of Andrew Jackson, and it just set the whole country back decades. And after that, slavery became like the thing everyone knew was an issue, but no one was willing to talk about. You had the Democrats who were just like pro-slavery, but didn't want to debate the morality of it. And then you had the Whigs who were anti-slavery, but didn't want to debate how the Southern economy was kind of built around slavery. And just as an anecdote on that front, I don't think it's any coincidence that within decades of abolishing slavery outright, we had the Industrial Revolution. Because without slaves picking all the cotton, we had to find more efficient ways to do the same thing, and then we invented the cotton gin for that reason. Says internet connection quality is currently not sufficient to broadcast gameplay. Okay, so we probably hit a bit of a snag there, and I wasn't paying attention, and I made a wrong turn. Where was I? Oh yeah, basically the Industrial Revolution would have happened earlier, I think. I think the Industrial Revolution would have happened earlier if we were to have abolished slavery earlier. I think that kind of pressure is that the pressure of trying to like keep the Southern economy afloat without slaves is what bred that level of innovation down there with like the cotton gin and steam power and all that good stuff that pushed us forward freaking centuries within the course of 10 years. So I'm going to drop this guy off, and then I'm going to read your comments and check back on it. And that'll be kind of the formula for today's stream. I do a thing, I read the comments, I check on the results, I do a thing, so on and so forth. See, I freaking love how every NPC has like a routine that they do. And so it's always the same person that's on the fishing on that rock. By the way, I'm like stacked for cash, so I'm not worrying about like freaking carrying them alive and dealing with using the lasso.
Here's that Skinner brother. What's left of him. Last green.
Well, I'll be. Didn't think I'd see this one alive or dead. Throw him back.
I also like how, I think if they're alive, you throw them in a jail cell, but if they're dead, you literally just dump their body. And then you collect the bounty. Oh, wrong door. There we go.
That man weren't worth spit. But here's what we're paying for him.
It was a nasty business up there. I'll take it.
You don't go after these bounties, I'm gonna have to.
Alright. So let's read the comments. Mom's trying to get a hold of me. I already read that. Okay. Surrogo Gautier said essentially Trump's approval rating amongst Republicans is high, hence the only way for him to lose is for Democrats to have high voter turnout. Yeah, it's going to take a lot more than that. Like I said, the Democrats don't actually have a platform this go around. It's sad to see. For Republicans, keep up this movement. Okay, I read that. Surrogo Gautier said it's topical given Red Dead. Yes, that's why I picked it. Secure said we talked about this man avoid Andrew Jackson in the Civil War. Oh, yeah, I could give that little brief anecdote. So Andrew Jackson, Civil War kind of became inevitable when Jackson was in office. And his there were taxes put on goods that were made by slaves. And there was a state, I meant to look this up earlier. I think it was Arkansas. Might have been someone else. So don't quote me on it. Were wanting to ignore those tariffs. And they were ready to like drop out of the union over it. And Vice President at the time, John C. Calhoun, was very much for secession. And he thought Andrew Jackson, his boss, the president, who was a slave-owning man and a Democrat like him, was going to be on their side. And they had dinner with Jackson and Calhoun had dinner together, and I think Henry Clay was there too. He was Speaker of the House at the time and the main political rival for Jackson. And Jackson like gave Calhoun a toast and said like, I will not tolerate anyone who threatens this perfect union. John C. Calhoun thought he was going to die that night. And Andrew Jackson would later on threaten to actually march down to, I think, Louisiana, where his son-in-law, Jefferson Douglas, was. And he actually threatened to hang his own son-in-law if he encouraged secession. Jackson was very much an imperialist. He was America's Napoleon. Okay. Gauthier said, we just use convicts in my county. Or they're women. Alien said, colleges have become left-wing breeding grounds. I'm not going to read all of them out loud because the YouTube has the chat stream feed now. Sargo Gauthier said the cotton gin was 1794. Yes. I got it mixed up with something else. Well, I'm not gonna look it up, but the Industrial Revolution is what I was referring to. At least I've never really been into politics, but I have to admit it does keep me on edge. It's very important. Shadow Falcon said Trump refueled directly to the public assets of the Chinese Communist Party and state-owned enterprise personnel and their relatives in the United States. Translation? I don't know. The Jacob V11 said, do you think it is possible for the Republicans to gain the minority vote from the Democrats? Not the way things are right now, not with the way Trump talks. Here's the thing, so much of our minority populations are in the really big cities, which have had 9 uninterrupted decades of Democrat imperial rule. And the Democrats, this is the thing that ended up turning me off of the Democrat Party in 2008 is probably when I first started noticing it. I wasn't even old enough to vote yet. And the Democrats they perpetuate the urban systems. They perpetuate the crime rates, the gun violence, these kinds of things, because they need the minorities to need them. Because there's nothing the liberals hate more. There's nothing the welfare state hates more than a minority that doesn't rely on them. Dylan Docker asked, do you think Democrats are starting to fear losing more power when Generation Z, which seems to lean more conservative, starts to reach voting age? Yes, I think any shift in power causes fear for who that power shifts away from. Dylan Duggar said, also fun little anecdote. Some of my more liberal associates drugged me out to graveyard where they then danced and spat on Calhoun's grave. Good time. John C. Calhoun was a freaking coward and a fraud and an idiot. Even Andrew Jackson hated him. Racist as Jackson was. Alright. I just clicked on this. Some Senate updates. Ohio. Democrat incumbent Sherrod Brown. I don't know why I read that as Dodd. Sherrod Brown is winning. I think I predicted that. Corey Stewart is still beating Tim Kaine in Virginia. The 21% reporting. It's really close, but Tim Kaine might be out of the job after tonight. Well, technically it'll be after January when this session of Congress sits. In Indiana, Mike Braun is still beating the pants off of Joe Donnelly. Man, I was wrong on that. And in Florida, it is really close. 14% reporting, and incumbent Bill Nelson has pulled ahead of Rick Scott. And in Vermont, 1% is in, and Bernie Sanders is winning by 65.7% to 27.6%. It's right now it's not even close. Only 1% reported in. I think it'll get a little closer as time goes on, but again, I think Bernie's gonna win hands down. I think it's going to be basically a landslide, just not a 65 to 27% landslide. Imperator Draken said, "You hear the witches who tried to curse Trump?" Yeah. See where that got them? Okay. I'm afraid I don't like how the just 2018 election thing for Google has the red and blue right next to each other. Like, have the red on one side and blue on the other side, and then have them close the gap as the night goes on. Anyway, so for the House of Representatives, which there's 435 seats up for grabs, Republicans have taken 10 and Democrats have taken 6. Who those are, I don't know. This is just a cursory glance at the benches. Sergio Gautier said, "Can you get arrested for that?" No, we've had court cases about like quote unquote witchcraft and Wiccanism and trying to like hex people, and it's free speech. Oh, we got votes coming in from West Virginia, and Patrick Morrissey is beating incumbent Joe Manchin. That's another Republican victory if he can maintain, if Morrissey can maintain that lead. I told you, like, there's only 8 Republican incumbents this go around. I think they're I can't see them, but I think like Tennessee, Texas, Roger Wicker in Mississippi. I'm scanning around. Yeah, I think that's the only Republican incumbents are that are up for grabs are both senators in Mississippi, Cindy Wyde-Smith and Roger Wicker, Ted Cruz in Texas, Dev Fisher in Nebraska, John Barrasso in Wyoming, Dean Heller in Nevada, and that's it. Those are the only Republican incumbents. That alien says states that fall to the Democrats tonight will have hell in store for them. I can't downplay this, and it's probably the second most important body in the country. But it takes so long for things to happen in the Senate anyway. Dahlia says, they say OBO works, but I don't buy it. I don't want to find out if it works either. Sarguro Gautier, I am never going to pronounce that right. Can you get charged in the Caribbean, or is it only if judges think it works? I don't know. I'm not up to date on Caribbean law. Huh. The Jig of V11 said, do you think that Texas might become a Democrat stronghold in the future? No. They might start leaning purple, but it ain't now. It ain't beta. It ain't beta's time. I really don't think Beto O'Rourke stands a chance. All of that money is all those like record-breaking campaign finances, which he has been accused of campaign finance violations. All that money has come from out of state. People like Ted Cruz there. Trump won Texas. Beto is just running on. Beto's one of those people that he doesn't have a platform. His platform is hate Trump. That's not a platform. Beta just needs to freaking grow up. Really, he's a kid. I know he's like twice my age, but he acts like a freaking child. He talks like a child. He rants and raves like a child. I pick on Beta a lot because one of the reasons is that everyone at Rooster Teeth has like their little charm necklaces and stuff, and are just like praying beyond all hope that Beto O'Rourke beats that big old meanie Ted Cruz. I bet those are like the exact words Gus Sorolla has used to describe Ted Cruz, and Miles Luna is almost as bad. Dylan Docker said Orange Man Bad is best platform. Democrats colorized circa 2018. Yes. Alright, so what should we do now?
Hello, girl.
I got some blood on me. Oh. I have some furs I can sell. Let's try selling them to this butcher. Yeah. You got milk in here or no? Yeah, I do. I meant to sell. Hmm?
All right, then.
Mm-hmm.
Get a hold of yourself!
Cat Alien said the NPC meme was one of the best memes to come out in 2018. Yes, it was. It's perfect too. Because it just... And the way people react to that meme when it's a negative reaction and they're just like, nuh-uh. And they all say nuh-uh all at the same time, all at once in the same tone. It's just... way to prove the point. Anyway. You know what, let's do some exploring. Because I have all this I haven't explored. I don't think there's any like missions there. I think it's just literally pasted from the first game. I think this is actually going to be DLC. I think they're saving the Nuevo Preso from the first game as DLC, which would be neat. I'd like that. So let's go exploring. Let's see how big this map actually is. For long rides, little pro tip here. Let me pass up this wagon first, otherwise I'll get stuck behind it. Hold down on the PS4, it's the touchpad. Cinematic mode, hands off. Game literally plays itself. Part of me likes that, part of me doesn't. I wish the fast travel was better. The fast travel was so good in the first game. I don't know why they changed it the way they did. Now you can only fast travel to certain points. Whereas before you could fast travel to literally anywhere from a campsite. Professor Ella said, I recently played Call of Juarez, and when I dueled for the first time, I realized how bad I was at it, and it was refreshing from a lot of games now being easy. Well, yeah, Call of Juarez, the dueling mechanics requires a bit of skill. Red Dead Redemption, the first one, was pretty good with it too. I think Red Dead Revolver had pretty much the same mechanics, where it was much more button mashing though. It was much more button mashing, just like mash the aiming button and then aim and then fire. And in this game, you just gotta slowly pull on the R2 button, or on the firing button, right trigger or R2, depending on which system you're playing on. See, that's the downside to cinematic mode. Sometimes you'll get stuck behind something or in front of people who are coming from the other way. I think you could even like fire from this mode. No, I just tried it. I just tried aiming anyway. Shadowfucker said Democrat governor in Ohio is winning. That doesn't surprise me. I'll have to look this up, but it's not Kasich. Kasich. It's not that dude who's running. He served both his terms, I think. Republicans were going to have, as well liked as Kasich was. I think a lot of Republican voters in Ohio got kind of like scorned by him when he ended up being a freaking sore loser. And so I feel like Ohio's going to have very low Republican voter turnout today, at least for the governor race. Daly said, I kind of dislike the fact that I live in New York. It's very liberal, plus Cuomo pretty much has this W in the bag. Sadly, that's the case of basically the entire Northeast, except for New Hampshire. James Schultz said, are you shocked that people would associate Ruby with the Republican Party? Maybe. Just because the people who make her are so dyed in the dog shit Democrat. Like, some of the, like, Aaron Zek, the voice of Blake, is a straight up socialist. She's the kinds of things that she said on Twitter, I had to stop following her. But there's something inherently conservative about the entire idea of heroes, which is weird because most of the heroes were made by liberals. Stan Lee's a liberal. Bob Kane, Joe Finger, the Schusters, they were all liberals. Because it's very much based on.
There's a gringo here looking real pleased with himself.
Dispensing some Mauser justice. Come on, didn't have enough time. Wait, here's Armadillo from the first game. All like burned down from gangs and stuff. The Marshal from the first game isn't the Marshal yet. The first time you ride through here, the Marshal will actually confront you and be like, "Yeah, I'm out of here after today." There's a random occurrence there. Kind of want to check that out. I guess he was just gonna say something. Let's not park my horse in the middle of the street first of all. Let's actually do some shopping around.
Face. Good to see you, Pard.
Not my Herbert Moon.
Woo one of them diseased folk out there.
I mean, unless that is Herbert Moon, that would be awesome.
You're all set.
Let's get some stuff to help out with my Deadeye, because my Deadeye core is dead. Deadeye runs out so quickly in this game. It's nuts. Cheese. Salted beef.
Yes.
Candies.
Done.
I'd have to set up a camp to use that. Alright.
Something else.
Just gonna litter around here. Something that, yeah, let's see the salted beef.
Come on, move!
Get out of here. Armadillo is on the way.
Alright. The alien said Florida's pretty much red at this point. There's still a lot of Democrat strongholds like Tampa and Miami.
Let's go. Rose, honey, someone's coming. Look.
Okay, well, I think that should do it. Let's go. We're leaving town. There's a cholera epidemic. I suggest you do the same.
Where? Oh, come on. Let's go. Let's go.
What was I saying earlier? Before I got distracted by not Herbert Moon, but maybe Herbert Moon?
Yeah, we
Younger
got
Herbert
everything
Moon?
we need. If we don't, we'll just get it. Just calm down.
I can't believe we're
Probably less racist Herbert Moon? I remember I was talking about heroes being like exceptionally, or kind of an inherently conservative concept, because it's all about being the best you can be and not having to rely on others and not having to like rely on the system or rely on government and just doing things yourself. Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit behind now. Gautier said, Barbara blocked me on Twitter when I answered how Trump won. Yep. Imperator Dragon make Atlas great again. Yeah. That would actually be a mistake on their part, because people like Ironwood. Imperator Dragon said, I meant to say against her. Said that. Shadow Falcon said Tim Kaine got confirmed. Let me see. Where's the voting at with Tim Kaine? It's still too early to call. But yeah, I think Tim Kaine will win. I was surprised that Corey Stewart was ahead early on. See, I don't like how they confirm without the votes even coming in. You know, I'll give the rundown here in a minute. Aeroblitz said, I don't have a social media, nor do I check the news that often, so I'm usually out of the loop. This stuff? Yes. It's not a bad thing. Shadowfix said, is it weird that I use the seats map instead of the geographic map? A little weird. Zarago. Zarago just said slaves question mark. Not quite sure what he's getting at. The Jacob V11 said, how would you think Ruby characters would vote? Blake would definitely be a hardcore socialist. Yeah, I've said that I think Ruby's like very hardcore libertarian. I think Weiss is like super neocon, like Trump style conservative, to be perfectly honest, or at least she was in Volume 1. And Yang, I don't know. Yang has not talked much about like her beliefs, like what kind of person she is, how she feels about certain things. That was one of my complaints about Volume 1, is that she never comments on the Faunus issue. She just said, like, oh, it must be tough being a Faunus. Like, she doesn't actually say anything about the issue, though. Secure said, how's our favorite Zodiac killer doing? The polls in Texas are not closed yet. Shadow Falcon said, says MA is confirmed red with no votes in it. And MA, is that Massachusetts? Or is there another MA state? A lot of the like really hardcore states, they'll basically call it before any of the votes are actually counted. That's what's happening with Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Is they're all being confirmed blue despite the polls just now closing. Sargo Gautier said non-voter for Yang. I believe it. Predator Dragon said, "Don't you take my guns." Ruby Rose probably. Yeah, she'd be libertarian as fuck. She'd be some Ichiro Oda level freaking libertarian. Predator Dragon said, "Always wondered why Team Ruby didn't beat up Cardin for bullying Velvet in Volume 1. Because they didn't care. No one cared. Keep in mind for the votes that are kind of coming in now, the only like real battles were going to be Indiana and Florida. The rest were pretty much kind of in the bag. There's a lot of the Democratic incumbents, the like hardcore, like Elizabeth Warren is up for re-election this year. Same thing with Bernie Sanders. Same exact story. I would think Tim Kaine would be in that category too. I was shocked that he wasn't ahead right out the gate. And I'd say I'd throw Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin, lesser known, but I'd throw him in there too. I don't know anything about Sherrod Brown in Ohio though. Mike Braun is still winning in. Okay, polls just closed, or we're getting the first votes in for Tennessee and Texas. Ted Cruz is ahead by 20,000 votes, with less than 1% reporting in. That gap is only going to get wider. And in Tennessee, no incumbent, Marsha Blackburn is winning. I think Marsha Blackburn will win. Not only because Republican is a very conservative state, but she's also got the female edge. She's got that female edge. A lot of the lesser informed Democrats, which is a lot of them, will inadvertently vote for Marsha without even realizing that they're voting against their party. The Shadow Falcon said, "As long as I have free speech, I'll be good." Yes, you'll always have that. Sargo Gautier said, "They didn't crush his balls for beating on Jean. Why would they do it for some random bunny chick?" Exactly. Predator Dragon says Cinder's probably an anarchist or monarchist. I'd say anarchist. She'd think that voting is pointless and rigged. We all know the system is rigged, and we all know the riggers. Tony Colello said, "What's going on with Lou Barletta versus Casey?" Not sure. Let's check the house. Okay, again, very early on, and it's a lot of the East Coast is reporting in. Democrats have 19 House seats confirmed, and Republicans have 16. Again, like if anything gets flipped, it's going to be the House. I've said that on numerous occasions. It's the easiest to flip, for real. Should be getting Missouri stuff in pretty soon. I think the polls close at 7. They might close at 7:30 though. I'm really interested to see how Missouri shapes out. Even if I didn't vote for either of the two major opponents. Beto, I guess they just counted Austin, or they're starting to count Austin. Because literally in a second, Beto just jumped ahead. He just gained like 200,000 votes from whatever batch they just reported in. Yeah. Gonna sneeze. Ah. Technically said, I'm kind of scared the Democrats are taking the lead. Don't be. If they'd have to win, they'd literally have to win like every single election to win to flip the Senate. You know what? Let's quickly check on the governorships because I haven't done that yet. All right. 2018 governor races. 5 governor election results. Let's pull that up as well. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 10 commandments. All right. Look at the governor. This is not at all expected. Literally, I don't think there's a single one of them that I called. Not right now. Massachusetts going red. I didn't think Charlie Baker would actually hold on to that. They're already calling it for him. New Hampshire is flipping blue and Vermont is staying red. I thought Vermont would flip blue and New Hampshire would stay red. That was my prediction. I think it was anyway. Right now it is neck and neck in Florida. Less than 20,000 vote difference between Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum with 51% reporting. Ooh, that's a nail biter. This is gonna suck for Florida if Gillum wins. Gillum is a hack, even by like Democrat standards. Henry McMaster is winning in South Carolina, as he should. Brian Kemp winning in Georgia. Kay Ivey is winning in Alabama by a laughable margin. Less than 1% reporting, though. Bill Lee is winning in Tennessee by a large margin. Chris Kobach is winning in Kansas. That's neat. And Greg Abbott is beating Lupe Valdez pretty significantly in Texas right now. Man, they're already calling it Massachusetts? With 0%... See, I don't like it when they do that. Being right, but I just... One of these days, man, they're not going to be right. And it's going to really ruin a lot of people's nights. It is not wanting to show Rhode Island for me. So I'm getting... Gina Raimondo is winning in Rhode Island. I don't know by how much because it's getting cut off by my screen. Shelfecker said, yeah, Blue Texas is weird. Number 1. Dat Alien said the results of mainstream media, Democrats and the left have brainwashed many Americans into voting for socialism and believing in the sham that everyone on the other side is evil. Yep. Surgo Gautier said, Adam, what do you say to accusations that you stabbed Blake Belladonna's stomach and murdered your own party members? Secure said, would you say Miles and Carrie are making Ruby great again? Much like this election, we'll have to wait for the next episode. Okay, Oklahoma is reporting in. Kevin Stitt is in the lead. It's a Republican. Yeah. One last check and yeah, less than 1% reported in Texas. God, there's a lot of people in Texas. They've already reported in basically 1 million people, and it's less than 1%. Mike Braun is still has a hefty lead over Joe Donnelly, 32% reporting. I guess it's not too late to call, but hey, what's going on in Massachusetts? Because there's 0% reporting in either race, and they seem to already know what's going on. Maybe the early voting thing was just so like prominent in Massachusetts that they just knew that it was going to be that way. Okay. Professor Ella said, I have 2 questions. Do you plan on streaming on Twitch? If I knew more about how Twitch worked, I probably would. I've streamed to Twitch before. Before I ever streamed on YouTube, before I even had streaming unlocked on YouTube, I did a few Twitch streams. I streamed like Minecraft once, and I streamed some Skyrim once. I think that's it. Yeah, I'd be down for that. It would require a much greater push from my viewers to switch over to Twitch for me to do that, because I'm really comfortable with the way YouTube works with streams. I dig it. And 2, do you ever think about doing song requests on streams? No, I'm not sure what you mean by song requests, but if you mean like playing certain songs during streams, no, because that gets copyrighted pretty easily. Check it back with the governors. Ron DeSantis has pulled ahead. Oh man, it is neck and neck. Hold on, what's the difference here? Less than 5,000 people. Less than 5,000 vote difference between. Fucking Florida is always fucking close in everything. God damn it. Such a diverse state. I love it. I love it. Right now, the Democrats are winning the House 24-20. But again, most of that is East Coast stuff. When these smaller states start counting in, it's going to get a lot closer, and Republicans will maybe keep control. Like I will say this 1,000 times tonight, I swear. If anything gets flipped, it will be the House. The Senate isn't going to get flipped. Speaking of the Senate, Oh no, this is the governor race. Okay, never mind. I was looking at the governor race. I thought Ted Cruz pulled back ahead. Alright, let's get back to the game. I've taken a long enough break to... Well, see, people believe a thing and then vote a certain way. Showfucker said 2 Red House reps confirmed. Yeah, makes sense. Dylan Dogger says Salem is a confirmed Republican due to Virginia election. I'm going to assume that's clever. Yeah, one of the reasons why I wasn't so concerned with the governor races is because Missouri's not up for governor this go around. Missouri is one of the like 15 states that votes their governors in conjunction with the presidential election. God, what a sham our governor ended up freaking being. Ex-governor, by the way. God, I can't remember who it is now. But in 2016, I didn't vote for him, but a lot of people did. Oh, can I get up there? Nope. Okay, so that's the limit. Yeah, that's the hard line there. Okay, let's go about here. See where that takes us. God, I know it's only been 8 years since Red Dead Redemption came out, and probably 6 years since I first played it. I did not play it upon release. I didn't get it until it had a severe price drop and was $20, and I saw it at Walmart. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna get this. Ended up being one of my favorite games of the generation. This is still kind of giving me some nostalgic feels. Like that's the place with the dude. The Stranger Quest, where you have to get the land deed. And you could either buy it off of him or you could either buy it off of him, steal it off of his hogtied body, or steal it off of his corpse. And depending on how you do it, the guy who wanted the lease will give you a certain amount of money. Like, he'll give you the most if you bought it off of him. He'll reimburse you for it and then some. If it's all like wrinkled and stuff, he'll know that you force it out of him, and he'll give you less money. And then if you kill them, there'll be blood on it, and he'll give you like almost no money. And it's like, I don't want this. And then you can kill that stranger after the mission is done, and you'll have the deed to that house, and you'll be able to actually like sleep there and store stuff there, like any of the other properties you can build. And I believe this is Sidewinder Gulch. I know this had a name. This is I believe this is where I first killed a jackrabbit in the first game, and it's on this pathway that you meet Nigel West Dickens for the first time, I think. I might be wrong on that. It's been a long time since I played Red Dead. Probably been about 4 years since I last played that game. God, this game is so freaking pretty, and all of this stuff is not in the story. It's kind of don't like that about it. Oh, did I select right? I think, yeah, I know this place. I'm heading towards the fort. Is it Fort Mercer in this game? Yeah, Fort Mercer. I'm heading towards that. Oh man, I wonder if it's still like a military base or if it's a gang hideout or something. Let's see. It's open, whatever it is. Looks to be...
Whoa now.
You're not one of us, then you don't belong here.
Yep, it's some kind of hideout. So should I try invading the fort or not? I kind of want to try. Let's make sure I have some good weapons. Got my Mausers. Let's get Lancaster repeater. Let's get the express rounds. No, high velocity rounds. And then let's get go with yeah, we'll go with the semi-auto shotgun. All right. So before I do that, I'll Cotier said, "Don't go full Barbara and block me, dat alien." That alien said, "I'm just surprised that the Dems are doing so well despite everything with Kavanaugh, the border, etc." I think the whole migrant crisis thing, because of how the media's been covering it, I think that was actually the saving grace. Because that's a crisis, and I think a lot of people feel like the Democrats are the ones doing the right thing. If the elections were held the week or two after Kavanaugh was confirmed, I think the Democrats would be doing a lot worse. Liberals, you are under arrest for fascism. It's treason then. Secure said only 8 years. Pritzker said... Oh, Falcon said Pritzker up for governor in Illinois. Okay, I know a lot about Illinois because it's literally like... I can't walk there because there's no bridge nearby. But I'm 20 minute... I'm probably a 15-minute walk from the river, from the Mississippi River. I am that far east in St. Louis. And I have a lot of friends from Illinois. And a lot of southern Illinois is very conservative. But a lot of, like, north and central Illinois is kind of sparse to moderate. And then Chicago is super liberal, and it just... There's more people in Chicago alone than there is in, like, the entire southern half of Illinois. Chicago dictates everything that goes on in that state. It's going to be really hard for any Republican to win in that state, other than, like, House members that are representing other areas outside Chicago. But, like, for senator and governor, it's going to be really hard for... And for the presidential elections as well. It's going really hard for a Republican to win that state so long as Chicago stays the way it is. Pennsylvania for Senate also coming in. That alien said, "You guys heard about the NPCs saying how Smash Bros. Ultimate is racist just because Mr. Game & Watch has a Native American costume in one of his moves? That's dumb." Sargo Gautier said, "Is Trump not president if they win? He will still be president at least until January of 2021. He is not up for re-election for another 2 years. But one of the Democrat platforms, part of the whole hate Trump thing, is that if they flip the House, they will try to impeach him. But here's the thing. They have to have probable cause for impeachment. They are relying on that Robert Mueller BS and the Steele dossier and stuff because they really need... They feel like they need this Russia narrative to stick because it's the only thing that they could ever possibly impeach him on. Because... you guys might not know this, but backup plan they had was Stormy Daniels, but judge ruled her case out. She's out. She's done. Trump shut her down. Trump was in the right on that. Trump was right. All the evidence supported Trump in that claim. So they are really relying on the Russia narrative for impeachment. And if they do that, it's going to set a really bad precedent. I think it was secured. Someone was saying this to me earlier. I don't know if I saw it on a... No, I think it was on a Louder with Crowder. They were talking about this, where, like, if they impeach Trump, then Democrat president comes in, Republicans flip the House, and then they impeach. And then it's just chaos after that. It will be the downfall of the Republic. Seeker said, as a Native American, I'll gladly adopt Game & Watch into my tribe. Yes. Shadow Falcon said, 27 blue states, 25 reds. Republicans are coming back on House side. Yeah, they'll do that, especially as the more middle states start coming in. Aeroblitz 7 said, when's the election again? The security said right before that he's president until 2020. Technically until 2021. 2020 is when his election will be. If he wins, he'll get 4 more years. If he loses, then he'll still be in office until January of 2021. Professor Ellis, we should vote Blake for president. It's finally time for a female president. If only. Sergio Gautier said, but the vacuo leader during the Great War was a faunus woman. Oof. See, she time traveled. Shadow Falcon said Republicans have taken the House. Yes. 29 to 20 Republicans have taken the House. Yeah, it'll probably go back and forth a couple times. Again, Democrats might pull ahead as the West Coast comes in. They might pull ahead in the last minute. 31 to 20 Republicans are up. Vice for president in 2020. I'd vote for her. Professor Ellis said LGBT, liberty, guns, beer, and Trump. Fuck. You guys are some funny motherfuckers. Alright, I'm gonna check. Oh, clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, wait, hold on. This isn't right. Okay, let's go to the basic Google thing. Right now, Republicans still have 42 senators and Democrats have 31. And then you also got Bernie Sanders in there as an independent, but we group him in with the Democrats. Okay, governor race. Nothing seems to have changed. Pennsylvania. Tom Wolfe is winning by a large margin, but it's still very early. The entire Southeast is Republican. DeSantis is pulling ahead. Oh, he's ahead by more than he has been all night. 0.6%. Arkansas, they're already calling it for Hutchinson. Kevin Stitt is still ahead in Oklahoma. Greg Abbott is ahead by a lot in Texas. Kansas is still going back and forth. Right now, Laura Kelly, the Democrat, is ahead. Pritzker is ahead in Illinois. Gretchen Whitmer is ahead in Michigan. Bill Lee is still ahead in Tennessee. And it's 32-29 in the House. And for some reason, New York Times stopped showing the Senate and started showing the House. The House districts. Right. Can I please actually see the results for the... So now I wonder if I click back, live U.S. Senate election results. There we go. It's still anyone's game in Texas. Beto's ahead by less than 1,000, with 1% reporting in. Well, it looks like anyone's game. I still suspect, especially as Western Texas comes in, Ted Cruz will just pull further and further ahead. Yeah, they're calling it Tim Kaine for Virginia. They're calling it Sherrod Brown for Ohio. Bing Cardin for Maryland. Thomas Carper for Delaware. Yep. So far, no surprises except how good Beto's doing in Texas. So I just looked at the Mississippi special election. There's 2 Republicans on the ticket and they're splitting the vote. Mike Espy is playing on easy mode, but less than 1% is reported. It's like 300 something people are reporting in or being counted. Yeah. Yep. They're calling it 33 to 29 in the House for Republicans. Dylan Dogger said, I wonder if we will see more of a spike in political aggression if the Dems or GOP take the House. If the Dems take the House... If the Dems take the House, I think Trump will just up his trash talking game. I think that's all that'll come out of that. But if the Republicans keep control... See, here's the thing. With the whole migrant crisis thing, the Democrats already have their pressure release valve where they can just deny, and blame anyone except their own platform with the voter registration stuff. Even though it's affected just as many Republicans as Democrat voters, they will cry foul and be like, it was all rigged, voter suppression, millions of people didn't vote. If they would have all been able to vote, we would have won. Like that I already know that's where they're gonna go. That's where they're going to go with it. Man. So yeah, the polls should be closed in Missouri. They should be counting up by now. 9 p.m. 9, 10, 8, 9, no election. Yeah, I'm really wanting to... Whole reason why I started like... So I could situate for an hour and then start commentating on that. Alright. So I need to get behind that cover. Oh, I should have camped out a little. Alright. I'm gonna take this guy out. Missed. That was the headshot I wanted. Through the bush. Alright, I'm in the fort now. Just block away. Oh, they shot my head off. Is it time? Better cover. Agree something to... Yep. No, get back, get back, get back. That's not good cover either. Okay, I think I could hide behind this now.
They'll come and finish you with their Mexican steel. I'm gonna put up a
Block my view. Oh! Ooh, was not ready for that. That tore me up quick. I guess that was a Gatling gun or something? I feel like I could take it. I feel like I got caught out without cover for too long. Yeah, but I'm right here. And this time I won't miss that first shot. The Jacob V11 said, "What is your thought on letting felons vote in elections?" I feel like it would depend on their crime. I don't think I don't think anyone convicted of a crime or anyone convicted of a felony. Everyone, rather, not just anyone. Everyone. I don't think you should restrict someone's rights when it affects them. If they're in prison the rest of their life, no, they shouldn't vote. But when they've served their time, when they're clean, when they've reformed, when they're part of the world, when they're doing their job, if they're paying taxes, they should be able to vote. If they're not paying taxes, they shouldn't be able to vote. That's kind of where I fall on it. Taxation without representation. Baltimore's 58% red. Psst, nice. Jacob V11 said Ted has passed Beto. Yeah, not surprising. Falcon said DeSantis at 50%. Yay. Sarogo Gautier said, "In my country, the political parties just select a new PM before every election. If they think they are unpopular, it never gains them seats, though." Yeah, Dat Alien said, in California it used to be a felony to infect someone with HIV, but now it's a misdemeanor. Yeah. And what's happening now? Oh yeah, HIV is skyrocketing in California. Freaking idiots. You think there might be some correlation there? I need to really just watch my cores. Let's eat another thing too. Tell my cores. See, sometimes I'm good at this game, sometimes I'm not. Oh, crap, this is not good. Turned out fine, though. There we go, this is some good cover. This is why I was lacking last time. Flanking me. Someone up there. Yep. Can I scalp him? No, I don't think I got him.
You should be honored to be killed by us, boy.
Let's get up here. I remember in the first game, this was where the first act ended, and it was a big epic battle, and then after that it would turn into a gang hideout, and it was like the most intense gang hideout in the game. Can I get over there? No, I think that's just a thing. I should have fired there if I wasn't ready. Oh! Yep, that's a Gatling gun. There we go. Now the chat's talking about ships, and someone asked, is this an episode 2 spoiler? No. God, it put me even further back. I hope I still have my health items. I think I do. Oh no, they put me in the other way. This might be advantageous for me. If I
guess I'll settle down one of these days.
If I could waste. Gonna need my Lancaster repeater though. By the way, Lancaster repeater, it's not just because I ship it. High velocity rounds. And let's go with a semi-auto shotgun. Even though I don't ever use the shotgun, it's nice to have in a pinch. Okay, so I'm gonna waste these 3 guys first. I can't.
You should be honored to be killed by us, boy. Today you die, you coward son of a bitch! Got a family back home? They'll be dead. This one's gonna run off between your eyes, you bastard!
Okay. Cleared. Just reload. Probably not the best view.
Let the Lobo have you now!
Yeah, I think it's cleared. All I had to do was slide in the back door. Bow chicka bow wow. Alright. Let's... Now that I finally defeated that fort. Okay, wow, there's a lot of new chats. Scrolling back up. Okay. Wait, rose 50%, Arca 0%, lol. Was 100% of 0.2 seconds for White Knight 10%. Lancaster 5%, sorry mediocrity. Be nice to see Oscar kill himself to stop Ozpin. I don't know if that would happen. Where's Thanos when you need him? Sorgo Gautier said, "What's happening? Can't find good sites." Okay, I'm giving you guys the breakdown now. Senate elections. Beto O'Rourke has passed up Ted Cruz again. Claire McCaskill is winning in Missouri. Good for her. In North Dakota, Kevin Kramer is beating up on Heidi Heitkamp. Only 1% reported in though. Same thing with Michigan. John James is beating Debbie Stabenow. Ohio, they're calling it pretty early. Sherrod Brown. So that is a seat that they are keeping. I don't know. Looks like it's all the same stuff in the Northeast. Tim Kaine. They're still calling him Tim Kaine. Joe Manchin, Bob Casey, Ben Cardin, Thomas R. Carper, Chris Murphy, Angus King. Yeah, Rick Scott is still winning. Rick Scott is still winning in Florida. That's good. That was a battleground. For the House. For the House, Republicans have 45. Democrats are still sitting at 39. Governors. Okay, governor races. They're calling Asa Hutchinson in Arkansas. Pritzker is crushing in Illinois. The rest of it seems pretty much the same deal, except New Hampshire. New Hampshire is the only one that seems to be flipping in the Democrats' favor. So let's check Twitter real quick. Let's see what's going on over there. I'm skimming through your comments now. Breaking news, GOP wins the Senate. Is that true? It's a little early to call, but I mean, they're right. It's still statistical probability for the Democrats to win all the elections they need to in order to flip the Senate. Alright, let's... Feeling losing hurts. Alright, let's get back to the game. Democrats always use illegals and dead people for votes. Yep. Alright. Let me go back the way I came. Oh. I didn't think I could blow someone's head off with a rifle. back to exploring. Yeah, I mean, for anything that the Democrats want to do, they have to be able to flip the House. And they need to also be able to flip the Senate, but I don't, that's not going to happen. It's just too much of a statistical improbability. Not enough Republican seats are up for re-election.
Made it this far, eh, girl? Out of the dead world.
Too many Democratic incumbents this go around. Maybe I should be getting close now, shouldn't I? I don't remember this part of Rio Bravo. Oh crap. Okay, I thought that was a mountain lion, and that was going to kill my horse. Let's travel around the border. See what's going on. I should also probably get something to drink too. My throat's starting to dry out. I've also been going for about 2 hours now.
I'm not in the mood for your company. Get the hell out of my sight.
Yeah?
I am ready to get this over with. Done for.
Yes, I know that was excessive, and yes, I realize it also
Easy.
did away with one of my honor points, but he pulled the gun on me first. You all saw it.
Easy now.
Kind of curious as to how much of level penalty so they model, because this looks really accurate. It looks like they used that bird was just floating for a while. Looks like they just used like the same like model. They probably didn't texture it. And it's probably like if you were to hack the game and try to go there, you just fall through the ground. But I'm fine with that. It's kind of cool to look across the Rio Grande and be like, ragdoll physics. Sometimes you could like face plant into a wall and nothing will happen, but you lightly brush a tree and you just fall over. God, Euphoria sucks. The same kind of stuff I hated about GTA 4. And to a lesser extent, Red Dead Redemption and GTA 5. I don't even know where I'm going anymore. I love how your horse acts. Like, it actually, like, reacts and stuff. I love it. I love this game.
Been through it, ain't we?
Yeah, that's right. I think both horses I've used extensively in this game were girl horses. So I didn't even see one of the more nifty mechanics, which is, the fact that your horses will, horse testicles will change depending on the weather. If I remember remember correctly, there should be like a city somewhere over here. I haven't seen it. Hey, there's the archway. I think Chuparosa's on the other side of that arch. Thought maybe it was closer to the river. Yeah, I'm looking at your guys' chat. Win or lose on the individual election, in the majority of the sensible Americans will see this as nothing but a democratic failure. Like, even if Claire wins the battleground state of Missouri and Beto pulls an upset in Texas, it's a Democrat loss on the whole. And this map is still going. Man, how far have I gone? Jesus. I'm approaching the end. I kind of want to find Tumbleweed. I kind of want to know what's going on with that. I don't remember exactly where it is. I know it's north somewhere.
Easy there.
Maybe it's on my map. Maybe I've already been in that area. Nah, it's up here somewhere. There's Twin Rocks, Armadillo. I feel like they kind of stretched out the map of New Austin a bit. Like, I feel like things are a little further away from each other than we were. Then there's some things like that hill, coming off of Henniganstead into Cola Springs. That's just 1-to-1. It's the same exact thing. Right now, I'm just exploring, seeing what I find. Oh, there's something there. There's something. What is that? What's going on over here? Just an abandoned caravan. Probably got hit by bandits or something. Okay, maybe the sign will help.
Easy.
Tumbleweed, this way. I think it's up, yeah, I think it's up past this hill. Oh my goodness, if Tumbleweed is like a legit town in this, I'm gonna be like super unnerved. I think it is. I think that's the Tumbleweed house. Yep. Yep. Oh. This is super unsettling. Because this is a ghost town in the first game. There's a stranger quest.
Look what I found! He's in the Del Lobo gang!
You know what they do with them 10 stars in Mexico, boy? Hey. Oh, hey.
Keep your
What's all the
distance. We've got
nonsense?
business here.
You don't release me now. 12 angry Mexicans is gonna ride through this town. Burn it all to hell. Only lock me up
There's a
if you
stranger
want this
over
town
here,
to
too.
burn, Sheriff.
In the random occurrence. Ah, this is unsettling. I don't like this. I mean, I actually quite love it, but... Oh, it's the help the blind guy. Wait, hold on, is that... Yeah, that's not anywhere near here. That's all the way back. That's all the way back at Marco Dragic. That's literally on the other side of the map. I'm gonna ride back in, and I'm going to do some looking around in Tumbleweed. Man, it's at nighttime too. Ugh. See, I never actually got all that creeped out by Tumbleweed. I know some people did. Because it's like the ghost town and the house is supposedly haunted, and you can hear like dogs barking, but there's never any dogs around.
Line up, folk. Got some fresh meats here.
Enjoy your time here, people. Enjoy it safely. Enjoy it respectfully, and we shall respect you.
Hey.
Look out.
All of you, this is Tumbleweed. We are the end of the civilized world. Anarchy exists just outside this town.
Says that there's poker upstairs. I think I might try my hand at some poker in this game.
Because we follow the rules. Disobedience will be fatal.
Howdy, partner.
None of you
Hey there.
come on,
Hello,
watch it.
miss.
Hello. Eyes forward.
You sure you can keep up? Howdy.
Alright, before I start getting into this poker game, let's do another check. Alright. Beto's still ahead in Texas. They haven't... New York Times hasn't called it for any Republican, but they're projecting that it will stay at 51 Republican senators since they flipped. What did they flip? What was it that they flipped? They flipped Indiana. Yeah, the Republicans so far are the ones doing the flipping. 50% reported in. It's been stuck on 50% for a while. That's shifty on them. 57 to 47 in the House. Republicans are still ahead. The blue wave is looking like a puddle. We'll wear some boots and keep winning. That was on Twitter. I don't know why I read that out loud. Let's look at the governor races. Yeah, a lot of red in the governor as always. Oh man. New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. All Republican. Connecticut too. Oh, but that's literally neck and neck. There's like a 20 vote difference in Connecticut from what's being reported right now. They're calling it for Charlie Baker has won re-election in Massachusetts. What did the Republicans? Oh, the Republicans lost Illinois though, as I predicted. I was kind of surprised that Bruce Rauner, however you pronounce that, won 4 years ago to begin with. Like I don't know. Southern people in Chicago didn't show up, I guess, in what would have been 2014. Yep, they're calling it Pritzker. And they're calling it for Greg Abbott in Texas. Calling it. And they already called it in Tennessee and Arkansas a while ago. Colorado is looking like it's going to stay blue. New Mexico. Ooh. What was my prediction on that? Hold on. Let me pull up my Twitter feed. I posted my predictions. I'm pretty sure. Governor predictions. Yeah, I predicted. I predicted the Democrats would flip New Mexico, would keep New Mexico, right? It's keep. Oh, things aren't looking good for Chris Kobach in Kansas anymore. Laura Kelly's pulled ahead by a lot. That's weird. A Democratic Kansas. So far, there's not that many surprises. Anyway, I'm gonna get a drink. I'm taking a drink now. Okay. Time to catch up with the chat. Yeah, Shadow Falcon said Maryland's a fucking battle. That aliens and Tifa are gonna come back again. Yep, they will. The Mexicans are coming. That alien said watching Antifa get fucked up kids. It fills me with glee. It fills me with glee too. Popping Shadowfog's head, popping open some butterfingers. No Cartoon says hi stream, was looking for something to watch during the midterm. I'm sorry, I'm not that interesting of a person to be watching. TB Pepper actually brings us something interesting. It is something I kind of go back and forth on. Because that alien said both sides have issues, but the Democrats are worse. And TB Pepper says, kind of what you get for only having two parties to vote for. You don't really end up picking what you want, but instead going for the lesser of two evils. That's right, and because the two-party system works for the presidential election. Because the way our system works, we don't want an extremist calling all the shots. And Razorfist actually said something really profound on one of his streams. Like, he wants his politicians extreme and his voters moderate because different things require different approaches. And I agree with that. And way with between the electoral college and the two-party system, it basically guarantees that we'll never have an actual extreme president. Like, as far as liberals go, Obama's as extreme as we've ever gotten. As far as conservatives go, or like what people think of as conservative nowadays, Jackson was probably our most extreme. Trump is actually very liberal on a lot of things, including guns and guns. The whole video game thing, where he was dumb on that. LGBT rights. He's very liberal on LGBT rights. But on those cases, it was another little history anecdote here. This was the 1908 election, I believe. Right? No, it would have been 1912. The 1912 election. You know what? I'm gonna Google this. I'm gonna Google this, and I'm gonna check something real quick. Taft. Presidential term. Yeah, it was the election of 1912. So, kind of rolling back the dice a little bit. William McKinley got elected in the 1890s, somewhere in there. He served a term, got reelected, then died in office of a stroke, I believe. And his vice president, Teddy Roosevelt, one of the more famous presidents, got into office. And he was a ball buster. He was a trust buster. He created the FDA because we were basically putting rat poison in our food because we were dumb like that. And he created a lot of like different things. And during the election of 1908, he propped up his what is it? No. Hold on. I need to, because I think Taft got elected in 1904. I'm actually Googling this now. Yeah, it was the election in 1908 that Taft got elected. So come the election of 1912, something happened between Roosevelt and Taft. Roosevelt had formerly endorsed Taft and helped propel him to the presidency, but something happened between them. Roosevelt was upset with Taft and created a third party called the Bull Moose Party. And they split the vote. Because they both made it to the final election night, and they split the vote really hard. And so Democrat Woodrow Wilson ended up winning the election with less than a third of the vote. Now, this would not be bad in and of itself, because that's how the Electoral College works. But then Woodrow Wilson went on to implement a lot of socialism into our nation, especially into the Democrat Party. And a lot of the problems we face today all trace back to Woodrow Wilson. I think he is far and away the most overrated president, and arguably like top 5 worst when you actually do critical thinking, like what are the problems America faces today, where did those problems started. A lot of them came from Wilson with the Federal Reserve. His welfare programs are bankrupted the country. He didn't add a lot of debt to the country, but he created the machine that allows us to just rake up more and more debt with each passing year. And that wouldn't have happened if we were a pure democracy. But if we were a pure democracy, it would just be mob rule. Nobody wants that. Even the people that say they want that, they will not like what happens when they actually get a taste of it. See, Republicans, nothing has changed in the Senate, and the Republican Party has 65 House seats. Democrat Party has 64. The Democrat Party is catching up. Again, they might flip it. I won't say that they I won't say that they. I won't say anything got flipped until it's all said and done. Which is not going to be on the stream because I am not streaming for another 4 hours. I'm not staying up to midnight with you guys. Sorry. I'm just giving commentating on some of the early stuff. That alien said, I need to read a history book. I'll admit that I'm not very knowledgeable on a lot of things that I should be. I will recommend a documentary. It's called The Presidents of the United States. It's by the History Channel. Just look up Presidents of the United States. It was like a 8-part series, I think. They did like 5 presidents per video, per episode, and they were all like 30 minutes long. But it's the history of the presidency, going all the way from George Washington. I could probably name them all. If I wanted to like really name them all, like off the top of my head, I'd have to write them down as I go, because I'll end up getting lost and like forgetting where I'm at. But let's challenge myself right now. Number 1, George Washington. Number 2, John Adams. Number 3, Thomas Jefferson. Number 4 was James Madison. Number 5 was James Monroe. Number 6 was John Quincy Adams, the last of the Republican Democrats, or Democratic Republicans. Next was Andrew Jackson, the first Democrat president. Then his old running mate and the true mastermind behind both the Democrat Party and the Republican Party later on, Van Buren. Martin Van Buren. Then after him came William Henry Harrison, who was dead within 30 days, and he was the first president to die in office. So his vice president, John Tyler, took over and ruined everything. This is a totally biased approach, by the way. Then after John Tyler, I believe it was Zachary... No, after Tyler was Polk, I believe. And James K. Polk, very underrated president. He only served 1 term, and he did not run for re-election. And he did not run for re-election because he went into the presidency. He blazed a campaign trail saying, I just want to do 4 things, and I'm going to do those 4 things, and if I complete those 4 things within my first term, I will not run for re-election, and he did it. The madman actually did it. James K. Polk, far and away our most efficient president ever. He settled the Oregon conflict with several states. He was the Manifest Destiny president. He's the one who brought California into the Union. As he finally settled the things with Texas, because Texas was trying to be its own country after it won its independence from Mexico, but they were failing, and America was thinking about like maybe buying them out and helping them out and like converting them into the Union. A lot of people didn't want to do that because it would reopen the debate on slavery. And James K. Polk was like, screw that, I'm bringing in Oregon and Texas at the same time. Oregon's a free state, Texas is a slave state. Boom, problem solved, no big deal. And on top of that, he reopened the National Bank, or a federal bank, rather, which had been sorely missing from our government after Andrew Jackson shut it down. Anyway, I'm a huge Polk fan. Favorite Democrat president by a long mile. Better than FDR, better than Clinton, better than Carter, or Carter sucks. What are some other good Democrat better than Jackson or Van Buren? Definitely better than Van Buren. Van Buren kind of failed as president. He did a lot of cool stuff later on, like forming the Free Soil Party, which later on became the Republican Party. Anyway, after Polk, he refused to run for re-election, so he basically gift-wrapped it to John Tyler, or Zachary Taylor. John Tyler was before. Zachary Taylor, who had previously never voted in his life and died without having voted. He didn't even vote in his own presidential campaign. So he died, and his vice president, Millard Fillmore, took over. By the way, those are all the Whig presidents. William Henry Harrison was a Whig, died. John Tyler was supposed to be a Whig, ended up backstabbing his own party and being disavowed by them. Then later on, Zachary Taylor was supposed to be a Whig, didn't do anything Whig-wise. And then Millard Fillmore. And then that's the Whig's legacy. Then after him, after Millard Fillmore, came Franklin Pierce, who was an top 3 worst presidents ever. Then James Buchanan, who started the Civil War. And then Abraham Lincoln, who ended the Civil War and reunified our country and abolished slavery. And then Andrew Johnson, who screwed up Reformation by occupying the South the way he did. And by the way he did, I mean he sent soldiers there but didn't intervene in anything. Because he was actually because Andrew Johnson was actually very pro-slavery. After him was Ulysses S. Grant. The S does not stand for anything. It just made him sound more efficient. It gets a little hazy after that because I think we had a couple that just like blew past. I could get all of them from McKinley on. Was it Chester Arthur next? Blanking. See, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant. Oh, Rutherford B. Hayes, the guy who ended Reformation. And then after Rutherford B. Hayes, Rutherford B. Hayes ended the Southern occupation and thus inadvertently opened the door for Jim Crow. Then you had James A. Garfield, who died within a couple months because he was shot. Then Chester A. Arthur, who took over for him, didn't get that re-election campaign. Then you had Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland, who won the popular vote 3 terms in a row, but only got the electoral vote twice, and they were not consecutive. So you had Grover Cleveland, then you had Benjamin Harrison. Benjamin Harrison was, he came in on the 100th anniversary of the presidential office. He was inaugurated 100 years to the day after Washington was. And he was also the grandson of William Henry Harrison, the president who died after 30 days. Then after him, Grover Cleveland came back and won it again, and I think he even tried running again after that and lost to William McKinley. And then after McKinley came Roosevelt, because McKinley died shortly into his second term, and Roosevelt took over. Roosevelt served out the rest of McKinley's second term, as well as a term of his own, then endorsed William Howard Taft. Howard Taft got 1 term and then split the vote with Roosevelt to hand it over to Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson served 2 terms, including the entirety of World War I. And he passed it off to Warren G. Harding, who was an idiot and spent all of our money. He died of a stroke into his second term, I think. No, at the end of his first term. And Calvin Coolidge took over and then ran a term of his own with the best campaign slogan ever, "Keep cool with Coolidge." And then, the economy crashed because of Harding's plans that he implemented, and Coolidge's successor, Herbert Hoover, got the bill. Hoover tried doing a lot of things and did a lot of things that ended up working in the long run, but he was so uncharismatic and did not project the confidence that the American people wanted. So Franklin Delano Roosevelt won the election in 1932, served 3 solid terms. The first term, not much actually seemingly got accomplished. He kept on doing what Herbert Hoover was doing, but did it with a lot more gusto and a lot more charisma that projected the confidence that we really needed. Then his second term was kind of a mess, and then World War II started, and we decided that we needed the stability of Roosevelt staying in president, and then he died during his 4th term, handing it off to fellow Missourian Harry S. Truman, who I believe was actually a KKK member. I think that's actually come out recently, because it was kind of in the classified file. It was part of the package that Trump declassified. Sorry guys. Harry Truman dropped the bomb, ended World War II, then passed it off to Dwight D. Eisenhower, who was not politically affiliated. He was general, he was a war hero in World War II. Both the Democrats and the Republicans tried recruiting him. He ended up siding with the Republicans and won the election and won a second term and created our highway system. Then he stepped down. John F. Kennedy beat out Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was Eisenhower's VP. So John F. Kennedy gets shot. Lyndon B. Johnson takes over, blackballs Barry Goldwater and absolutely slanders him and mischaracterizes him. Just total character assassination, total fake news. Lyndon B. Johnson serves a term of his own and then steps down because of Vietnam, because he kind of caused it. And then Richard Nixon steps in, ends Vietnam, does a bunch of awesome stuff for our economy, for opening up world trade with China and putting pressure on the communist bloc in Russia, and then did Watergate, and everyone hated him. And so Gerald Ford took over, and he fell down the stairs and became a laughingstock. And then Jimmy Carter took over, and Jimmy Carter was just a good old peanut farmer from, I believe, Kansas, and he was such a nice guy, but just wasn't a good politician. So he got passed up by Ronald Reagan, who was a former movie star and governor of California. And Reagan really made our economy boom in the 80s, so much so that he basically handed the election of 1988 to his VP, George H.W. Bush, who oversaw some shady stuff and lost his bid for re-election to Bill Clinton, who served 2 good terms, 1.5 good terms as president before the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Then George W. Bush got elected in 2000, beating out Bill Clinton's former VP Al Gore. 9/11 happened, 2 wars, and an economy crash happened. And in 2008, we elected our first black president with Barack Obama, and he ended up being a stuttering idiot, and now we have Trump. Did I take a breath in all of that? Oh, wow. I don't think I did. I don't think I took a breath during all of that. Anyway, TB Pepper said, is he the same president who had plans of taking over British Columbia? I don't know who you're talking about there. That was 10 minutes ago. Jesus Christ, I talked for over 10 minutes straight about this. Let's do a quick rundown of that. Okay, so it's 78, 73. Yeah, 78, 73 Republicans in the House. In the Senate. Or is this the Senate? Yeah. Senate doesn't look like anything's changed. Except they're officially calling it for Braun. That in Indiana. That's the only thing that's changed. The governor election, it also doesn't look like anything has changed. I kind of predicted that not much would change. The alien asks who's taking the House. Right now, Republicans are in the lead. And that's the thing that the Dems really needed to flip the most. All right.
Want to try around?
Now let's play some poker. Have I played poker? Yeah, I've played poker in this game before.
Gonna need some rod gut if this keeps up. This is fine living. Sure do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, then.
I'm like really bad at poker, just saying. I can only win in a video game.
Check.
Ace, 2, and 4.
I reckon that's enough.
Chicken scratch.
Could end
Call
up
that.
getting a straight 2, 3.
How's this?
Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if
Yes, sir.
either of these are a 3, I got a straight.
All right, then.
That's worth the risk. I got money to burn. 9, 9,
I'll
9,
check.
9. That's not good. Check.
I got this here.
Damn.
Bit rich
I'll
for
take the
ya.
chance. I don't care. It's not like I'm actually losing real money. I got nothing. I'm folding.
Yes.
A big win for me.
Always me.
Isn't that a shame?
I once shot a cheating son of a bitch to death. If I was rich, I'd play all the time.
Thank you.
Three and a 4.
Gotta
That's
play
good.
sometime.
That's good to have right out the gate.
I don't know about that one.
I'll check.
It's not so good. Five. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting a straight.
Raise me on up.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
I'm
on.
folding. Only thing I could possibly get is either straight or like a pair.
Ooh, hey. Don't mind that.
I still love how diverse the character models are. Like it's not noticeable to run into the same looking guys. Like that's kind of impressive.
Sure.
2 and 7 of clubs. I could have a flush.
Check.
And now I can't.
Someone's got to light a fire under your feet.
I'm interested. A little.
I'm not wasting my time if that's the take.
Oh god, if anyone has
Sometimes
any kind of diamonds, they gotta
Not this
flush.
time.
Okay. It's a start.
This has stopped being amusing.
Sometimes you can't fix bad luck.
I'm losing. I've also folded a lot. I need to stop folding. I need to start like betting like there's no tomorrow. People folded.
Better safe than sorry, right?
Check. I'll check.
King 9 and 5. I guess there's a slight chance I could get a straight, but I don't think I'm gonna end up getting anything.
I check.
Like 8, 9, 10 jack. Ah, I needed a queen. I really needed a queen.
Check.
What have we here?
I got lucky.
Ridiculous.
Did I just win with an ace
There we
high?
go.
I freaking did. Only got 8 cents, but still. No one had a good hand that time.
Well, I guess you earned that.
Oh, that means I'm setting the bet.
Pockets are light. I could use these winnings.
You look like the kind of man who bluffs a lot.
Queen and 9. That's not
mate.
not usually good.
Yes.
I'm gonna check.
Six ace. 6 and 2 aces. What is that blocking the view?
Check, check, check. Chicken shit.
There. Ain't too aggressive, shall we say.
Oh, hell.
Let's go. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, totally say
This just ain't right.
I sure don't feel the weight of the day lifting off my shoulders.
Just one more hand.
3, both of spades. I might raise. No,
Come
I'll
on, that's
call
it.
for now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise. I'll put a real bet on.
Not good again. 2, 4. If it's a 5 and a 6, I could get a straight, but those are some pretty slim odds.
Nah. I don't think so. No.
Looky here.
These won't cut it. I ain't actually gonna win
Yeah,
much
let's
with
go.
this.
Wait, is there an
Fair
opportunity? Did it
enough.
just say muck?
Win's a win.
As in, like, I might just have to try that if I get down to it.
Now let's win it all back.
Nice.
If I get below 50 cents, I'm gonna muck it if I can. Unless it's something that can only happen if I'm the one dealing.
Nah.
Nah.
8.
I've seen newspapers that get folded less than you.
That's just fine.
Heck, why not?
Just this for me.
Son of a gun, got more than that.
I know this is a terrible hand to start off with, but You never know. Could get lucky. Lucky I'm... Oh, no.
When you gonna grow a spine
If
over there?
one of them's a
You ain't
spade,
got much.
I got a flush. If not, I got nothing.
Call.
He's probably... The mustache dude probably has...
Wow.
No. They all... A lot of them have mustaches.
I reckon that's enough.
Call.
I'll call. I want to see how this plays out.
Okay, now it's on.
I'll call.
I really want to see this through to the end.
Check.
Check on chain 2.
I got this here.
Oh. I got nothing.
No.
Let's show 'em.
Well, looky here.
What in the hell?
Yeah, yeah. 3 of a kind.
That's a mother load.
Ah.
Here we go, back in the game.
Must be your lucky day. Money comes and goes, right?
This must be tough for you.
King and a 5. Not ideal.
Come on, that's child's play.
Got a
No,
pair of kings.
You're one of life's real joys, aren't you? King of the checkers.
That's a tenderfoot move.
Is that gonna help me if I win?
Raising up.
I better call.
We'll see about that.
No.
Raise me on up.
This greenhorn can't fool me.
Easy now, champ.
Ain't that something?
The truth comes to light.
So close. No.
Guess you're in a good spot.
No. Messed that up, didn't I?
Lovely lady luck.
Pathetic.
See you around.
Well, I think I'm going to
Trouble or what?
call it a night.
What you look like
See your
anyway.
face.
Let's, oh, no. Let's save game. Archon of Plagueis asked, did anyone see the recent video by Alt Hype? That's a no. I don't watch them.
Always love me some poker.
Go on a bit of a rampage to end this stream off. Oh. Dispense some Mauser misjustice. Yep. I'm fine with that. Oh, I didn't know my health was that low though. Anyway, that is all for Red Dead tonight. soon as it loads, I'm gonna call it quits. On that, but I'll give one more little rundown. Alright, for the House. Republicans have, Republicans have 95, Democrats have 84. For the Senate, Republicans have 45, Democrats have 38. But nothing has been fully declared. It's still neck and neck in most of the battleground states, except Missouri. Less than 1% reporting, but Claire McCaskill's up by several percentage points. Anyway, thank you all for joining me on this little bit of a weirder stream. I'll be staying up, but I'm gonna get into some other things, and you can check out my Twitter at EA Mediocrity 4 if you want more kind of like live reactions to this stuff. I'll give my reactions to the ones I'm looking at. The ones I'm going to keep looking at are Missouri, Florida, and Texas. Those are three of the battleground states that I think are going to keep going back and forth. Oh, and for the governor, it doesn't look like much has changed since last time we checked in. Oh, Connecticut. It's neck and neck there. Still, a few hundred votes. Yeah, it's neck and this is turning into quite the intense election. I don't think any of these guys are gonna get any sleep tonight. Even the ones that are already declared winners, like Greg Abbott and Kevin Stitt, Larry Hogan. Anyway, this has been really fun, and I'm glad I got to at least have one rant on the history of presidents. So until next time, I'm Mediocrity 4, and thanks for watching.